After more than 20 years working with sound, whether it be in TV or film, music, documentaries, podcasts, you name it, I find myself returning to the same quiet admission that the mechanics are no longer the most interesting part for me. Signal flow, tool chains, workflow under pressure, problem solving in the heat of a deadline, those things become learned, internalized, and almost automatic. They're the craft. Of course they're essential, but they're not at the heart of it. What follows in this video isn't another technical breakdown, and it's not a deep dive into psychoacoustics, nor frequency charts, no buffer-sized debates in Logic or Pro Tools. If I'm being honest, and I try to be, I still don't really get sound. Not fully. Not in the way I once hoped I would. At school, we're taught the physics. Vibrations in the air, pressure waves, particles colliding, reflections off surfaces, diagrams with arrows, equations for wavelength and frequency. It's material, measurable, and useful, but it explains process, not experience. And after 2 days in rooms full of gear, pressing buttons, writing faders, editing fragments in time, I still struggle to articulate what sound actually is for me. Some days I feel like a fraud for admitting that. I've always wanted to write or speak about sound in a different register, not instruction manuals or textbooks, but something closer to a philosophical toolkit. Ideas picked up along the way, mostly from wiser colleagues, moments in sessions, quiet realizations at 3 AM when the mix finally breathes. The aim isn't to tell you how to do things correctly, it's to stir something to encourage exploration, embrace mistakes, and eventually discover your own relationship with sound. And that relationship extends beyond audio production. It touches creativity itself, professional or otherwise, any pursuit where you can't help but shape the intangible. So let me try to answer the question I keep circling around. What is sound? At least as I've come to understand it. Without veering too far into mysticism, sound, for those that are fortunate to experience it, is woven into the fabric of consciousness itself. Our brains filter an overwhelming torrent of information. Most of it we tune out. If we didn't, our heads would probably explode. But sound slips through those filters with unusual power. Try sitting quietly and listening. Birds in the garden, a car passing on the street, a distant voice carried in the wind. The motorway tones shifting as the breeze changes reflection, according to my estate agent. These aren't just data points. They land differently. Sound can raise goosebumps without warning. It can summon tears from nowhere. It can instill fear, offer comfort, evoke love or longing. It bypasses rational thought and speaks straight to emotion. Another layer of awareness, resonant and deep. And that's precisely why so many of us are drawn to manipulate it. We gather in dark rooms, surrounded by screens and speakers, moving fragments of time and pressure. We're not always doing it because we mastered the science. We're doing it because of our response. Like a painter loading a brush, we shape something that can't be held, working as much by feel as by deliberate intent. We release records into the world. We layer foley and effects to make films feel lived in. We capture voices that go on to move generations. Sound becomes our way of communicating, not just literally, but in ways that resist tidy definition. And that to me is what sound is, or at least what it has become after all these years. That's why I still sit here, still press record, still chase the moment when a mix stops being a collection of tracks and starts to feel alive. I'm trying to leave a small personal imprint on something vast and ungraspable, my own sound. And I suppose the broader lesson is this: don't wait fully to understand before you begin. And that applies to anything creative. The mechanics will come, the tools will sharpen, but the real work, the meaningful part, happens in the space between knowledge and feeling. Trust the space, explore it, make mistakes in it. Let it lead you to something uniquely yours. Some will have watched this and hear this and think that it's vague, perhaps even evasive, a sidestep around the hard science into mushy woo-woo. And that's fair. My perspective has drifted philosophical because the technical side, while crucial, no longer surprises me. What still does though, what keeps me in this chair, is the emotional residue. Does it move something? Does it linger? Does it give me goosebumps? And this approach has sustained me. Projects get finished, clients return. I've done all right. Ultimately though, creativity in sound, or in anything, is deeply personal. If equations and analyzers light you up, pursue them rigorously. Go for it. If intuition and response are your guide, follow that instead. The field is wide enough for both. And if these kinds of reflections interest you, honest notes from someone still figuring it all out, do consider subscribing. And if you'd like to see my written pieces on these subjects or details of current work, go to my Substack and website. The links are in the description of the video. Thanks for your time and attention, and I'd be genuinely interested to hear your thoughts in the comments. Has sound ever felt bigger than the physics to you? Or do you prefer to stay firmly in the measurable? No judgment either way. Until next time, take care.